Hey Jhop community, welcome to your May stretch video. My body, my mind, my heart is all very much looking forward to this stretch session we're about to have together. I hope you are establishing a comfortable space for yourself. Create your environment that best works for you. I have a little bit of background ambiance, but you're welcome to turn your background ambiance much louder and just move with me. All right, here we go. Let's make our way down to your mats, to your towel, to your carpet, whatever space is yours today. And we're just going to start with some breathing and some pelvic work to release the lower back. Bring your hands to your abdominals. And when we do so, I always like the thumb to be right around the belly button, the fingertips reaching down towards the hips. And right in the center of your hands is where I'd like you to start to draw your breath. Allowing that inhale to deepen, not just from the lungs, the chest, but all the way into the belly. As you inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. And I'm aware how difficult it can be to really focus in on your workout or your stretch session, on your body work. The mind can be easily distracted. So take the next 2 breaths to think any last thoughts that you feel you desperately need to. Yeah, any lingering little reminders, something you feel like you need to say or remind or do. And then allow it to drift away. Trusting that this time is essential, is necessary, is relevant, and right now is immediate. Reach your arms nice and long towards your heels. Feel the chest expand and really open the collarbones. And go ahead and over-dramatize this for a second. Just really open the chest. The ribs can flare, the pelvis can tilt. And then exhale, keeping the shoulders wide. Rest the ribs back onto the mat. Feel all 10 toes nice and stable on the mat. Place an imaginary tennis ball into the inner thighs just to start to stabilize the pelvis. And then I want you to tuck your pubic bone up towards the ceiling and curl your hips up to what I'm going to call 12 o'clock on your clock. And then go the other direction and tip your booty down towards the mat, towards 6 o'clock. And do that a few more times. Inhale, 12 o'clock. Exhale, 6 o'clock. And this little movement is one of the best things you can do to release the lower spine, to connect to your pelvic floor. Inhale, widen the chest. Exhale, imagine your belly button pulling in and up towards the ribs as your pubic bone rises. Do this one more time. Inhale. Exhale, shift those hips. And then come right back into neutral, so right in the center of your clock. Take another deep breath in and lengthen your arms for me. Exhale, tuck that pelvis under and curl your hips up into a long diagonal between your shoulders and your knees, but don't lose the zip through the front. Don't let everything expand up to the ceiling. We're waking up your posterior chain now. That's the back body. Exhale, roll it down. You have 26 bones in your spine, many of you have heard me say. Inhale here at the bottom. As you exhale, see how many of those bones you can connect with, you can articulate. Open your collarbones, engage the glutes, lift the cheeks higher, stretch the inner thighs, stretch the quads. Exhale, roll down, not in one big chunk, but piece by piece. Last inhale here at the bottom. Exhale, lengthen the arms, tuck the pelvis, and curl it up. And rolling back down. Bring your left knee into your chest. Bring your right knee into your chest. And just give yourself a good hug here. You might start to rock back and forth. Maybe a little rock up and down. And then I want you to settle the pelvis. Maybe release the hold on your legs just a little bit to feel your tail really lengthen on the mat. And again, you can kind of wiggle that a little bit back and forth. Feel that connection of your lower back all the way down to your sacrum. Now keep that connection and then work your hip flexion, hugging the knees in, but keeping the tail pressing heavy into the mat. Exhale. Release the chin to the right, chin to the left, back to center. Place that right foot on the mat. Cross your left leg over like you're sitting in a chair with crossed legs. Arms can open up into a T position. And then just let that top knee guide you into a twist over to the side. Feel your side body begin to wake up and then come back to center and allow it to drift to the other side. Notice how the stretch changes. For me, I really feel it through my hip flexor here because this is my tight side. And back to center. Let's start to keep this moving just a little bit, finding some flow. Inhale to one side. And exhale back to the other. Last time here. Inhale in. Exhale center and then to the other side. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, just slide that ankle to the top of your knee, coming into a figure four stretch. Wrap your hands behind your quad. If you need some extra space, grab a t-shirt, grab a towel. You can wrap that around your thigh and use that to pull in. Because we want to make sure the chest stays open. Neck stays easy, no tension. See if you can release that left knee open just a little bit more. Maybe hug in through that right leg just a little bit more. Drop your chin. Feel the back of your neck lengthen so you're not warping the skeleton at all. Press your tail down. Lift your belly button. Maybe you hug that thigh in just a little bit closer. And then gently release the stretch. Left foot comes down onto the mat. Right leg crosses over. Again, arms out to the side. Just kind of find like a comfortable space for those to live. And then drop over to the left first. And nice and gentle for this first one. Over to the right. And finding a little bit of flow. Your stretch is going to be unique to you. It's also going to be unique to just where your body is at today. Let's go one more flow side to side. So just always be in the practice of listening. I like to call it investigating, yeah? Investigating the uniqueness of where my body is at today. What it's going to tell me or scream at me. Cross that ankle over your knee. Allow that right knee to be nice and wide. If you need a little extra second with that hip flexor, go ahead and take it. And then when you're ready, slip your hands behind that left side. Ooh. Breathe. Chest is open, my friends. As you've heard me say before, don't sacrifice any stretch by putting tension into another area of your body. Allow that tension to continue to expand and lengthen and not sit in any one area. Opening that knee a little wider, hug that knee in, press your tail down. And then just release that foot back down to the mat. Awesome, everyone. Let's take a quick butterfly stretch here. Laying down, feet together. Allow the hip flexors to open. What I would like you to do, though, is not totally let the weight of the legs and the pelvis go into that tilt. So as you allow the hips to open, redraw that zipper through the lower belly. And then find the release through your hip creases. Again, everybody's going to be a little different. You might be way up here today. Awesome. You're doing the stretch, you're winning. If you need to use a hand to kind of guide, to breathe, just keep your abs in and keep releasing for 2 more breaths. Inhale in. Exhale out. One more time. Maybe you pull those heels in a little closer towards your pelvis for a deeper stretch. Exhale, release. Wonderful. Use your hands to help you guide those knees back together. Never want to jerk any body parts back into place after a stretch. And then roll over to one side and come up to a comfortable seated position. All right. I'm going to sit cross-legged. Really feel both sits bones anchoring into the mat. Find the length in your torso, so try not to sink into that spine. Yes, I'm always encouraging you to lift and float up out of that pelvis. And right here, we're just going to take some neck rolls. Let's start very gently, just going side to side, ear to shoulder, and ear to shoulder. Sometimes I am just amazed. Even as I was out walking earlier, after I dropped the boys off this morning, just walking around, and I kind of did a little gentle look side to side, and I was like, why do I have such neck tension? So even just these little stretches can make such a huge difference. And then let's take some half rolls here. So holding your ear to your shoulder, start to gaze down towards your hip, and even just that, feel the opposite shoulder drop. Keeping that opposite shoulder really down, lift up taller through your spine though, and then lower your chin to your chest. Start to take your chin over to the other hip, and then turn the ear to the shoulder, and then come back to neutral. Reverse that. Ear falls where you just came from. Nose lowers, chin down towards your hip. Keep lifting up tall as you stretch through center. Over to the other hip. Rotate the neck. And back to center. Do that again. Ear to your shoulder. A little more tempo, rolling through center to the other shoulder. Now here, option, gaze up at the ceiling. And then back down towards your shoulder and your hip. Don't pinch the cervical spine. Keep lengthening and opening the chest. Pause here and reverse wherever you're at. 2 circles in the opposite direction. Amazing. Oh, felt so good. Good. Smallest things. All right. Coming onto all fours, our quadruped position. As I love to do, let's just go ahead and start with some cat-cows because they're classic, they're delicious. Tuck the pelvis under, just drop the neck. Ribs to the ceiling, tuck the pelvis under, think nose to pubic bone. And then tip the pelvis in the opposite direction. Open your chest towards the front edge of your mat. Again, not pinching in that cervical spine. Press down through the heels of your hands and feel your chest drop forward through the window of your arms. And then just do that one more time today. Drop the head, lift the ribs, tuck the tail. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back to neutral. I want you to start to do some shoulder rolls here. So drop your chest, slide your chest forward, lift up and down. Almost think like a locomotive with those train wheels. Yeah, just really pressing the chest forward. Keep an easy bend in those elbows. And just find a different kind of shoulder roll here. Not adding any tension into the neck. Complete one more. And then just pause and reverse. Chest forward. Draw it back. Push down to lift up. And there's your circle. Do about 3 more. I'm gonna wake up some shoulder work here. Last time to lift, and then coming back to center. Find your weight supported really on that left hand and both knees. Open the right arm forward and start to circle. Gonna windmill this arm here, reaching forward, back around and up. And try to get that arm all the way to the ceiling. Pause and then reverse 4 times. Opposite direction. Reach all the way behind you and then up. And that might be challenging. You might find yourself, as I am, kind of almost going out to the side. That's the area where you can really focus on lifting. Up you go. Good. 1 more. And down. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. So support your weight with that right hand down. Left arm lifts up. One more time, friends, as big as you can. And down, and then reverse, taking that arm back. And lift. Last 2. And 1. Arms down, bringing the feet together, knees wide, sit back into a child's pose. 2 breaths. Inhale in. Exhale, lengthen the arms, draw those shoulder blades down. Inhale in. Use this exhale to keep the length through the upper body, but reach the hips down towards the heels. 1 more breath in. Exhale, come slightly forward. Tuck your toes. I want to wake up your feet a little bit. Open the arms wider, more into a puppy pose. And reach your hips back, reaching your chest down. But feel that curl of your toes. Just kind of opening up the upper back a bit more. Inhale. Exhale, bring your weight forward. Arms back to center. Close your knees. Now you've got some options here because I know that this can get uncomfortable. I'm going to keep my toes curled and I'm going to sit back. For many of you, your feet or your knees aren't going to like this. You can either uncurl the toes and sit. Knee issues, just come back to having a seat on your sits bones. Okay? No worries. All right, but we're going to try to do a little triple whammy here. All right, stretching the feet. Stretching a little bit through our quads. And now, upper body, we'll take an eagle stretch. Bring your left hand forward here at 90 degrees. And then wrap your right arm around and find your stretch. Feeling an opening and breath between the shoulder blades. As you get more comfortable here, maybe your hands come all the way together. Mine don't. I'm about mid-palm. You can start to lift your elbows here. And even as you pull those elbows deeper into each other, feel the expanse of the upper back begin to open up. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. And release the arms. Maybe you come slightly forward and untuck those toes for a moment to breathe, because it's big. All right, we're going to do the other side. I'm going to come back up onto my toes, trying to keep those big toes stretching. For me, that's where I really, really feel it. Deeper than I expected to, I'm going to be honest with you. Right arm comes up. Wrap the left hand around. Keep deepening your abdominals, trying not to go into any pelvic tilt. Shoulders stacked on top of the hips. Inhale in. Exhale out. Lift the elbows. Expand the blades. Inhale in. Exhale out. One more deep breath in, friends. Shoulder blades down. Long, beautiful necks. And exhale all the air out. Release the arms. Oh my goodness. Release the toes. And let's take a child's pose. Open up the knees. Arms reach forward. Just let everything reset. Coming forward here onto the pelvis. As always, feel free to take extra breaths where you need them and join in where you can. I really want to work on opening up the upper back. So often, people will talk to me about shoulder tension, about posture. All right, so these are some stretches, but also just a bit of strength. Yeah, to keep our chests opening. What I'd like you to do is keep your legs open about as wide as your mat, as wide as your hips. Yeah, you want some space there today. We're not overstretching or overworking the inner thighs. Arms reach out in front of you about as wide as your shoulders. Now, your arms are going to slide in towards you as you open and lift the chest. And even right about here is great. My ribs are still connected to the mat. Now notice the shoulders may want to lift. I want you to draw both shoulder blades down. Lengthen in your neck. And breathe deeply. Inhale, feel the chest reach forward between the shoulders towards your fingers. Exhale, slide down. Again, arms draw up into the body. Lift the chest. Maybe you come up a little higher, but it's your comfort level. Notice I'm not pinching and arching in the lower back. I am trying to open and expand through the shoulder blades. And you should get a stretch through your upper abdominals too. Inhale in and exhale down. Now coming back into center, this is closer towards what many of you may know about swan. Again, I'm going to bring my legs in a little bit closer, but I'm not going to overwork pulling in with the legs for this, all right? I'm going to keep my focus on my upper body. Lengthening the legs for sure, stretching through your toes. Pressing your arms down into the mat. Feel the shoulder blades draw down, the chest expand, and lift and bring the chest forward and long. Crown of the head lengthens. And then lower down. Now, instead of using the arms to really motivate the movement, I want you to pull those shoulder blades down, lengthen through your crown, strengthen the upper back to hold the weight of the shoulders. Hold and support the upper body. Now you can add a little bit of hand work. Push your elbows and your hands down to draw your chest forward and long. Lengthen your neck, hold for 3, 2, 1, and lower everything down. Last time here. Pressing the arms down, reach the legs long behind you to keep the full body engaged. Press the elbows down a little bit deeper as you draw the shoulders all the way down to the ribs. Lift the chest forward and long. Easy chin side to side. Make sure no tension is creeping in. Lengthen for 3, 2, 1, and lower everything down, everybody. Perfect, lovely, wonderful. Push back into a child's pose. Giving yourself that counter stretch of flexion after extension. And here I'm going to invite you to do a little side to side movement. If finding some stillness is more appealing to you right now, go for it. One more deep breath in. And exhale, nice and easy. First, come out to all fours. And then we're going to come up to all knees. All knees. Both knees. All your knees. Come up to all your knees. Bring your left foot forward. Now, we are going to be on this knee for just a moment. If you want to double up your mat, again, put a t-shirt or a towel under there. You're welcome to. All right. Placing some nice structure and anchoring into this front leg. I just want you to rock the hips forward and back. And as you might be able to guess, we're going to get into some deeper hip flexor work here. And depending on where you feel your stretches, it's going to travel down probably into your quad a bit. The shoulders stay open. Again, trying to keep the shoulders and the hips moving as one unit. Let's do this about 3 more times. Any discomfort in the knee, make sure you give it the proper pillow, cushion that it needs. Awesome, team, here we go. Taking it forward, let's hold it here. Now, I want you to start to pull your belly button, even in this forward press with the pelvis, away from the femur, away from the thigh. So don't dump your abs forward. Keep the weight here, but pull your abs in. And then you can even use your hands as a gentle guide. Tuck that pelvis. Press that right hip forward. And I caught myself starting to shift with that left hip forward because that right hip says, ooh, too uncomfortable, yeah? So work with both hips equally pressing forward as fast as you can, and you're going to get that deeper stretch. I feel it already. Now from here, if this is enough for you, just keep breathing. For us, we're going to reach our right arm up to the ceiling. Pause here to breathe. Abs draw in, pelvis tucks. One more time, inhaling. Staying here, exhale, bend your right elbow and latch on to that right elbow with your left hand. Now you must really keep your abs and your ribs in, try not to let things puff, keep it in. And then if you wish to take this deeper, wowie kazowie, reach that right elbow to the ceiling and stretch over to the left. If you need to let go of that arm and grab onto a handy dandy reading chair right next to you or a dresser or anything else, or come back to center, do it. If you can work that stability challenge with that deep, deep stretch, go for it. One more breath here, team. Inhale in. Exhale, come back to center. Release both arms down onto the floor inside that left foot. And then press up onto your right foot into a low lunge here. Rock forward and back. And just let it breathe here for a second. Again, if this is enough for you in your stretch today, that's great. Just stay here. If you can come down to your elbows, go for it. Little lizard action. And let's find a circular motion here. I'm going to go counterclockwise first, out, around, and in. Now really press down with that left big toe. Make sure the inner thigh, that side, is stable. One more circle, and then reverse your circles, about 4 or 5. In the other direction, not rushing things, but keeping movement and breath and flow. About 2 more. 1 more, and pause. Set that knee down. Come back up onto your right hand. Again, this is optional, just depending on your comfort level with your knees, your lower body. Bending that back knee. If you can take your left hand around and reach for the toes. Give yourself a very intense quad stretch here. I'm really putting a lot of weight onto my hand and leaning forward quite a bit because I get very nervous on the top of my knee, and I don't want you to be there. I want you to be the front of the knee towards the femur, and I'm making the face because I am feeling this. Let's breathe. Inhale in. Exhale out. I'm going to challenge us for 1 more breath. Inhale in, press that hip forward. Exhale, release the foot. Oh, friends. Press up into that lizard. That lunge. We're not down in lizard. See the stretch? It's getting to my brain. Ooh. For fun, let's rotate this forward. Side stretch. And then back to your lunge. Do that 2 more times. Mobility in the hip. Move slow and as easily as you can. And side. Last time. Here, holding to the side. rotate over to the other side. We played with this in last month's stretch video. And then you're in your lunge on the other side, but put that knee down and come up to a kneeling position. Oh, here we go again. All right. Take a second and just press forward and back. Let's get back into the mindfulness of investigating. Yes, and balancing. Balancing is good. Not expecting that one side is going to be exactly the same as the other. Yeah, that you're going to discover some new things here. Press that hip forward and let it breathe for a sec. Now, let's start to focus on our technique. Pulling the abdominals in, feeling that gentle press forward with that left booty cheek. Lengthening here, as if you're pulling up on a suspender through that left side. These next steps are completely optional. You can stay right here. Make sure your pelvis is even. Just had to do a little check on myself. Perhaps you bring that left elbow up. Perhaps you grab your right hand to that left elbow. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Maybe even reach over to the side for 2 more breaths. Inhale. Pull the ribs in. Press your left hip forward. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale in. Exhale out. Gently release the arm. Release that side stretch. Hands come down, release the knee by tucking the toes, and come on up to that lunge, and you can move around here a little bit. Keep your blood flowing. And if and when you're ready, come on down to lizard. And let's find those circles counterclockwise first. 4, 3, nice and easy. 2, and 1, and then reverse. Holding here. All right, team. Place that knee down again. Coming on up. Bend the back knee if you wish. Reaching that right arm around. Find your toes. And stretch your quad. Now the more you press your pelvis forward and then bring your heel to you, the deeper you're going to feel this. But again, investigate it. It's your body. It will tell you what's going on. Keep that front foot solidly on the mat. Find your happy place. Inhale in. Exhale out. One more time. Inhale in. And exhale very gently, 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 gently. Release that foot coming into your lunge. So just a few of those mobility movements for our hip here. So rotate front. Depending, it's your, shouldn't really say front, into your side lunge, deep side lunge. All depends on your orientation. And then back in to what would set you up for a crescent lunge. And drop that booty, pressing towards the side of your mat. And lunge. And coming back to center one more time. Bring your weight right into the center here. And then if you're comfortable, bring your elbows on top of those thighs. Give me a little side to side here. Maybe you want to walk those heels in a little bit more. Find your happiest place here. Drop the pelvis. Keep lifting the chest. Inner thigh thighs opening. And then maybe if you want to go a little deeper, elbows to the inner thighs, hands to prayer. Maybe find some stillness just for a few breaths right in the center. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale. Last breath in. Exhale. Hands down to the mat. Come into parallel and forward fold over those legs. And my legs just did a lovely little spazzy shake as I found that release into this stretch. Release your chin side to side. Continue to lift those abdominals up towards the ceiling, hugging the body in closer towards your thighs. Almost go pigeon-toed here. Press the heels out, stretch the sides of the calves. Keeping your pelvis neutral, walk your hands over to the right. What I mean by that is as you go over to hug the right leg, don't bring your left hip with you. Keep it in line with the right. And then come back to center and walk it over to the other side. Keep your mind present, listening to your body. What side felt tighter? Coming back to center. Wrap your fingertips to your elbows. If you're getting dizzy at all, come down to child's pose, slowly. Everyone else, start a little sway side to side. As your stretch deepens, maybe you want those legs to go out a little wider. Maybe you want to push those heels out a little bit more. And I just love the freedom in the upper body here. No tension, just flow from side to side. Four, three, two, and one. Let the arms just fall. Now stay with me on this. Walk towards the front edge of your mat, doesn't matter which side. Just bring your feet together and then come down to your knees. Keep your head heavy though. Neck nice and long, and travel right down into a child's pose. I don't want you to yank your neck and head up and make yourself dizzy at all or send blood flowing in the wrong direction too quickly. Again, I'm taking a little side to side here. Take it as you wish. Now, slide your hands in. Bring that chin to your chest. And slowly roll up through your spine. One bone at a time. Awesome. All right, having a seat. All right, let's just keep your left leg in and extend your right leg out. Point your toe. We need to do a little bit more side stretching before we end our beautiful session today. Now, as you stretch to the side, really reach that opposite hip down into the mat. Draw your shoulder blade down and avoid your chest going down towards your leg. I want to see that beautiful chest. Lift it up towards me. Stretch your toes. You have more than one. Flex your foot. Grab onto it if you can, pressing that heel away from you. Double whammy here. Great calf and hamstring stretch as you side stretch. And then come on back. Other side. Ooh, hip popping. How are you doing? Body's saying, huh, interesting, things happening. Reaching up and over, just breathe. Again, shoulder blade down. Press that opposite hip nice and heavy into the floor. Stretch your toes. Inhaling. flex your foot. Grab onto the ball of your foot. Press your heel forward. And stretch. Easy neck. And up. Wonderful, everybody. Make your way down to your mat. Tucking the pelvis under, just very gently roll down. And find your Shavasana today. Whether that's feet together with your knees open in that butterfly stretch we did earlier. Whether you like more of feet underneath the knees, like a bridge preparation. Or legs and arms slightly open towards the sides of your mat. Reconnect to your breath. Check in with your tight areas, with your areas of tension or stress. Also just notice differences between the beginning of our time together and in this beautiful moment right now. You are more than welcome to continue your Shavasana in your time for yourself. I'm going to roll to one side. Gently come up to sitting. You're also welcome to join me. All right, May Stretch. Thank you so much for doing this with me today. And please give yourself an immense hug and pat on the back for treating yourself to this time. Because it's not a treat, it is necessary, and we need to stop thinking of it as a luxury and something that we just don't have time for, or that we shouldn't take the time for, because you deserve this. Your body needs it, your mind needs it, and I'm just so grateful that you chose to spend this time with Jhop community. Thank you, everybody. Please keep stretching. Wear out this video on YouTube. Just watch it, watch it, watch it. Do it, do it, do it as many times as you possibly can to take care of that hard-working body. Have a beautiful day, everybody.